How to stop substance abuse in schools. This is a very difficult one to achieve because school is not incarceration. We cannot keep an eye on every student at every minute of the day. Children or high schoolers tend to get into trouble. They like to rebel. It's part of life. It happens to all of us, myself included. But there are some signs that we can detect indirectly that they might be using. One way is unexplained absences or unexplained lateness to class, moodiness, irritability. In this situation, I think a discussion would be needed with the parents to see what might be going on at home, if there's any issues at the home. Should they want to have their child do a urine test, would be the best way to tell if in fact they're using. This is a random urine where the child is not expecting it. Then a parent would go into the bathroom with the child and make sure that they urinate into a cup that cannot be contaminated or messed around with. This urine would be a great way of telling if they're using, but again, it's at the discretion of the parents. Wouldn't expect teachers or schools to do random urine tests. That's beyond the scope of this discussion. One other way is to have drug sniffer dogs. We're talking about security at our schools. What's wrong with having the idea of having a drug sniffer dog? You can certainly pick up a lot of contraband drugs that way, and it's a very cost-effective way of doing it. So to summarize, to reduce substance abuse in schools is a very difficult thing to achieve. However, there are some telltale signs if somebody's been using. If those signs have been picked up, then to contact the parents, let them know. Another thing I didn't mention was slipping grades and lack of interest in the activities that this child normally would engage in. To notify the parents, perhaps some urine tests could be done. There could be consequences if the child does not want to give a urine specimen, like losing access to whatever, but the consequences like not access to the car or allowances or being grounded, whatever. And finally, to consider the idea of having drug sniffer dogs at schools, so to detect any sort of contraband that's coming in, so it can be not disseminated to other students. I hope that helps. Thank you. The final thing that's needed to detect and reduce or stop substance abuse in your loved one is to do random urine screens on them. This can be done at home, in the comfort of your own home. These urine dipsticks, they're called, can be purchased from a local pharmacy or even a drugstore or even your grocery store. But this is the best way to make sure that your loved one is, in fact, telling the truth. And please understand that people like to hide their addictions. It's a big part of the illness itself. It's not their fault. There's a lot of shame and embarrassment, and there's a lot of deception and lying that is a part of this. And to accept this and to not judge them for it, to treat them with love and kindness and compassion, but to make sure that what they're saying to you is true, to be confirmed with a urine test. So that's really important to help arm you with a way of detecting it, to ensure that the user is actually doing what they say they're doing. The best way to tell is to surprise them, to have a somewhat observed urine. So this isn't, you're not going into the bathroom watching them, but you're standing in the doorway to make sure they're not trying to substitute apple juice or dilute the sample with anything. And then you handle that sample and do the dipstick together, and you'll know right away if their story is consistent with what they're telling you.
We've helped over 1 million Americans completely recover from substance abuse. Call now at 1-800-615-1067. Call now.